By the time you reach your 50s, you're standing in a very different place in life. Most of us have spent half a century accumulating resources, responsibilities, achievements, and relationships. Maybe it's a comfortable 3-bedroom home, a car with some mileage but still holding value, savings, investments, or a business you've spent years building. Perhaps you're a recognized professional, known for what you do well, and hopefully a spouse or partner you value deeply. And yet, something quietly becomes clear at this stage. This is when life starts to feel like it's running on diminishing returns. You notice younger, faster competitors entering your field. Technology keeps changing, and keeping up feels exhausting. Markets shift, prices rise, values fall, and losses, unexpected and painful, arrive without warning. Even the possessions you worked hard to acquire now need more maintenance, insurance, repairs, and upgrades. You realize that owning and managing stuff often costs more financially and mentally than acquiring it ever did. This is when prioritization stops just being an ideal. Stress and anxiety increase. Health begins to feel more fragile. And once health declines, the emotional and financial costs often follow. Your time and energy now feel more precious. So you start asking better questions. What is worth my attention? What actually brings peace, meaning, and clarity? Do you still want to maintain the status quo? Protect the image, the lifestyle, the accumulation, to keep adapting at all costs and keep chasing relevance? Or do you now want to seek something deeper and simpler? The truth is simple. You are not in your 20s or 30s anymore. This is where 1 John 2 verses 15 to 17 speaks with eternal clarity. Do not love the world or the things in the world, for everything in the world, the desires of the flesh, the desires of the eyes, and the pride of life, does not come from the Father but from the world. The world and its desires are passing away, but whoever does the will of God lives forever. Most will focus on the many kinds of desires mentioned, but one phrase deserves special attention. That is, the pride of life. What is it? When we were younger, we felt strong, independent, certain we could prove ourselves and claim our place in the world. We chased more success, more security, more recognition, and in those years God often felt silent. But God was not silent. We were simply too busy living life on our own terms. So here is the hard question. Are you still proud of living without God? For those who hear God's call later in life, the answer is not found in adding more. It is found in less striving, less accumulation, less attachment to who we once thought we had to be. Think of a tree in autumn. It releases its leaves not because it is dying, but because it is preparing to live. In the same way, we are invited to simplify, not to shrink our lives, but to make room for God. Let's explore 5 faith-centered practices that help us minimize and simplify. 1. The hard audit. Remember, there are references in the Gospel of Matthew describing images of separating the wheat from the chaff, or sheep from goats. It also applies here. Every meaningful change begins with resistance, and this is no exception. The hard audit starts with one clear, conscious decision: to sort your life into 2 containers. In the first, place what still carries weight, things, relationships, and commitments that genuinely add value or purpose. In the second, place what no longer serves you, what drains you, entangles you, or quietly keeps you stuck. This step is uncomfortable by design. It involves letting go, disengaging, and walking away from things you once fought hard to keep. But once you cross this line, once you make these initial cuts, the momentum shifts. What felt heavy begins to lighten. Not everything will be obvious at first. Some things will remain undecided. That's okay. What matters is that you've established a firm starting point, one that allows you to move forward with less pain, less noise, and far less baggage. This is not about loss. It's about making room for what actually matters. 2. Choose warm minimalism. The second action complements the first. After firmly identifying what must be released, you now turn to what deserves to remain. It is about embracing what genuinely makes life more meaningful, joyful, and functional. The key word here is warm. It reflects an attitude of gratitude, recognizing the value of what you choose to keep, not merely tolerating it. Yes, this includes certain possessions, but more often, it points to what lasts. Faithful relationships, true friendships, and family bonds that have proven their worth over time. More than comfort or nostalgia, it is joy, not the sentimental kind, but the deep, steady joy Scripture speaks of. As Galatians 5 verses 22 to 23 reminds us, joy is a fruit of the Spirit. Anything that produces true, enduring joy without entanglement or excess ultimately traces back to God. Warm minimalism, then, is not reduction for its own sake. It is a faithful choosing of what aligns with a life shaped by the Spirit. 3. Adopt a first fruits, first hour habit. Now we move into practical, actionable steps. And this one is simple but powerful. I love slow, quiet mornings. Whenever I get that time, I sit in a corner somewhere and let the silence and solitude settle me. Prepare me. That's the heart of this habit. Make your mornings sacred. Give the first part of your day to God. In Scripture, this is called offering the first fruits, the first and best of the harvest, given before anything else. The same principle applies to time. Before the noise, before the demands, before the chaos, even just 20 minutes in the morning. Prayer, Scripture, quiet reflection can change the tone of your entire day. It doesn't eliminate the chaos later on, but it buffers your soul against it. When God gets the first hour, the rest of the day falls into better order. 4. Do more solo or slow activities. In a past episode, I talked about the importance of inner stillness. Be still and know that I am God. That's Psalm 46, verse 10. This is because stillness is required for God's presence. It's creating a space where God can meet you in everyday life. God becomes more real when you begin to seek Him, not only in prayer time, but in the small, ordinary moments of your day. Across cultures and traditions, this truth keeps showing up. From Zen monks to the Catholic mystic Therese of Lisieux, people learned that spirituality doesn't live only in temples or churches. It can be in the mundane, the routine, the everyday. You don't need a religious calling to practice this. Choose one slow, simple activity. Walking, washing dishes, cooking. Mine is gardening. As you do it, stay outwardly active, but inwardly still. Notice your breathing. Notice the sounds around you, the environment you're standing in. When you do this, something shifts. The moment begins to feel sacred, almost like a quiet meeting place between you and God. Slow down. Stay present. Give it a try. You may discover that God was already there, waiting for you to notice. 5. Have your own personal Sabbath day. This last one has an extra step. There's a bit of writing involved, but it's truly worth it. From the book of Genesis, it's written that God rested after creation. The idea of Sabbath was never meant to be just a rule. It was a gift, a rhythm of rest built into life itself. Many people think of Sabbath only as a day of worship. But at its core, it's about resting, especially resting the mind. Most of us are carrying heavy mental loads, unfinished tasks, unmade decisions, quiet worries running in the background. This is where the idea of a brain dump comes in. On your personal Sabbath day, take a pen and paper. Write down everything that's weighing on your mind, every unfinished task, concern, or open question. Don't organize it. Don't solve it. Just write everything down. Then do something important. Offer it to God in prayer. After that, fold the paper and set it aside. You can come back to it a day or two later. Practically speaking, this helps you see which open loops actually need attention, and which ones were simply noise. Spiritually, it does something deeper. It allows you to rest, because you've acknowledged that these worries are no longer yours alone to carry. You've surrendered them. Well, that's it. I recommend these practices for everyone, but especially for those in midlife, navigating responsibilities, transitions, and questions, while still wanting a life centered on God. It's about being more calm, more centered, more intentional. Hope this helps. See you in the next video.